Hello everyone, MeanSpeed here. On this day last year, Battlefield Heroes was shut down for good, so because of this I wanted to make another fact video for you all and upload it on this day. If you're new to this is where I give my take on the Did You Know Gaming video series using Battlefield Heroes as the subject. I've made 3 of these before this one and 2 of them actually made it onto the BFH homepage last year. So now you're all caught up, let's get started and I hope you learned something new by the end. In February 2008, a gaming magazine called Total PC Gaming had an issue which featured an exclusive preview of Battlefield Heroes, as well as the chance to win one of 100 exclusive keys to access the closed beta just by buying the issue. The issue showcased never seen before screenshots of the game at the time, information about the game, and also interviews with members of DICE, the developers at the time. The magazine explained various things such as the free-to-play model of the game and, wait for it, the reasoning behind the switch from first person to third person. Yep, that's right. Battlefield Heroes was going to be a first person shooter but was changed to third person as DICE said that people are much better at navigating their surroundings when they have a World of Warcraft type behind the head view than they are in first person. We can see from the screenshots that various HUD elements were different from the release version, with the level up bar and weapon icons looking different, as well as another icon next to the health symbol, which I can only assume was relating to your ability points, cooldown of abilities, a meter that went down for every ability used per life, meaning there was possibly a limit, armor or something else. It's worth noting that the finalized abilities such as grenade spam, burning bullets and combat medicine were all available according to the magazine, so perhaps that icon wasn't an ability in itself. And of course I'm only speculating on this since nothing was mentioned about it back then, if at all. We can also see an even older screenshot here with the hero XP bar looking more like a navigation or mini-map option, as well as map objects such as the house being very early stages in design. The green star icon was also included in this older stage of the game as well, and we can also see some fences missing on the map, as well as the national skull logo on the tank looking different. In 2013, G-Dude, a community moderator, met Hate, the lead designer at the time, and found out that he was looking at adding more heroic moments into the game, but this time they were rewarded by killing someone next to something, such as a flag or map exclusive spot such as the church, as you can see by the example here of what it might have been like. Speaking about Hate, he once pitched a boss fight concept for the game. His boss was an evil giant squirrel attacking the players, and the idea was that you needed at least a complete squad consisting of a gunner, soldier and commando to be able to take him down. Battlefield Heroes was rated teen by the ESRB because of violence, but also a tobacco reference, which was solely because of very select few items in the game that were cigars, such as Churchill's Chew for the Royals and the rare pipes from Widget drops. The metagame was originally intended to be set for countries instead of the tile styling that came with the War Room's release in 2013. The concept metagame that was shown in one of the early trailers for the game shows that it was originally based around Europe. As well as a different style and layout, the metagame was also going to work differently. In 2009, Ben Cousins, the producer at the time, said you could point your character towards investing his VP in any one of 12 countries. He said, if you're in the Royal Army and you're putting your points into Belgium, and if the Royal Army have more points into Belgium at the end of the month than the Nationals, everyone who's invested points into that from the winning side would get some back. The War Room was also live a week before anyone knew about it, as there was a developer only War Room which was used for testing and adjusting parameters using live data. After the debut of the Dragonfire weapons in 2011, there was a challenge which required you to get 400 kills with the weapon in order to receive a different version of it. These were known as the Azure and Crimson Dragonfires and were simply reskins that were rarer to see than the normal versions. Limited time codes were given out for everyone to test the weapon around this time as well, so it was technically possible to get the special versions for free as the weapons were in their most powerful state back then, with more impact damage, splash and faster moving projectiles. The Azure and Crimson Dragonfires were never available again after this event. During the testing phases, the scoped machine guns and submachine guns were originally long-range weapons, but were quite overpowered because of that in terms of damage and accuracy, so they were changed to moderate instead for balancing reasons. In December 2010, EA raised $4,594 to the Child's Play charity for the sales of the Christmas Santa sets, where $1 was donated for each sale. There were some exclusive hats available to players who registered Battlefield 1943 on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, known as the 1943 Pacific Ace hats. These were sent out to players via email, and codes were given out as shown in the picture, and were very exclusive for years as this was the only way to get them, until they were eventually put into the Captain's Shop rare drops in 2012, making them a lot less rare, despite the drop rate on the hats being considerably low. There were different and exclusive grenade launchers such as the Amazon and Green Man Gaming MGLs that were only available to those who bought funds through those sites. These were mostly reskins apart from the Amazon MGL, which had a bounce mechanic to the grenades, much like the Dragonfire weapons. The developers had some ideas for fun and unique game modes, such as a prototype where you had tanks trying to push each other off of a hill, as well as racetracks for jeeps, as the developers were inspired by the community's Jeep racing events. A lot of people thought the sci-fi theme introduced in early 2012 with laser weapons and the moon map Lunar Landing didn't make sense, but Pim Holf, an ex-producer of the game, said he wondered why heroes were capturing rockets because of the Hero of the Hill game mode, so he decided to take them to the moon as he felt it suited the game because of that mode. Before the Christmas of 2009, there were special versions of bandages and wrenches ranging from crude to splendid. These widgets got stronger by each level and got more expensive, so a crude bandage would cost very little but would restore only a small amount of health, whereas a splendid wrench would be expensive but would repair your vehicle very effectively. These were all removed from the store, and the standard version of the wrench and bandage was the only one that was kept. The crude widgets in particular were removed because the developers felt they were too weak and they didn't believe anyone would want to use them. The widgets were still left in anyone's inventory if they didn't use them up in a ranked game, though they weren't purchasable in the store anymore. Players were able to get an orange name by entering a code into their name when creating the hero with a specific symbol, the vertical bar, with the letter C following it afterwards. This was later removed and you couldn't put the symbol in a name at all anymore, but people who had the orange name originally got to keep it, though it was against the rules and many people were reported for it and also banned for it. Alpine Assault, previously known as Woodlands, was created by fusing two test maps together, known as Lowlands and Fork, and these maps were never released publicly. A member of the team called Natty originally said Alpine Assault was just made from Lowlands, which started out as a farmland map with rolling hills, a village and a railroad, but then they decided to listen to the community and feedback, as well as requests to make a forest map, which a lot of people asked for. Haight then went on to confirm that Fork was also involved and said the better parts for each concept map were merged to create Alpine Assault. It's also worth mentioning that the railway station in Lowlands had objects that were never seen again in official maps, such as the railroad itself and the waiting platform area. Well, that's about it for this video. I'd like to thank Iron Soldier for his help with the heroic moment clip, as well as G-Dude and Nazman for some of the facts and information used in this video. I hope you all learnt at least one new fact from this, and I just have to say that it's pretty crazy to me to think it's already been 1 year without Battlefield Heroes, but I guess time just flies. I want to do more of these videos in the future as I find them really fun to make, and if there's a demand for it I'll definitely try my best to bring out more in the future. So just know that this isn't the final part. Thanks for watching, heroes.